I'm excited to announce my official sponsor over the summer. That would be First Aid and Now. First Aid and Now is a family-owned business, first aid safety company that offers competitive pricing and great services. They have a wide variety of items such as AEDs, first aid kits, and all your OSHA-approved safety equipment and janitorial items. Through them, you're not just a number, you're the top priority. Call them at 573-291-9560. Again, that's 573-291-9560. And I thank him so much for the sponsorship opportunity. I'm so excited to see what we can do together over the summer. So let's get into the video. Welcome to Inside the Mink, your go-to spot for everything happening on and off the diamond all summer long. Today we have our ninth ever interview. I'm excited to introduce Jack Mosh from Kansas City. Went to St. Pius, the second baseman, heading to Minnesota for his senior year. And now, first year in the Mink League under your belt. Just talk about the experience playing for the Mustangs and all that Phil Welch has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everything that it was hyped up to be. I mean, it was pretty cool. Being from Kansas City, I kind of always heard the stories about it and like the rumors of what was going on in St. Joe in the summer. And I'd talked to some of the guys that had played in the past, and they were like saying how cool it was. But you can't be too sure. And then when I experienced it this summer, I mean, it was that and then some. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, and you had yourself a terrific series in the championship. You were the announced like the player of the championship series. You had a big hit in game number one, that double. Just encompassing that full series. What was really working for you at the play? I know you use that opposite field to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it was, not trying to get too pool happy, not trying to hit a home run every time, which I kind of fell into a trap at some points in the summer. So, I mean, definitely just getting back to that and the rest kind of takes care of itself. When you look at a field, a lot of the times the defense are giving you hits if you just take it.
hmm So talk about your defensive style, because I mean you're really good with the glove, and you're playing at Phil Welch. It's a really good field overall. How was playing on that surface?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it was maintained very well. I thought the dirt was good and the grass was always cut and so it was in pristine shape, every game, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, you're playing there every night. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to get the field ready every single day. So, ton of respect for those guys.
Yeah, and I they get a ton of respect for what they do because Phil Welch is just such a phenomenal field. But now, do you prefer playing on more of a turf surface, or do you like the natural grass, dirt, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll always be a turf first guy.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna get true hops, you know, but but I mean, a really nicely kept dirt field is pretty even, I mean, so I guess it's pretty even if it's kept well enough.
Alrighty. So you just finished your year being a Mink League championship. What does it really mean to bring a championship to St. Joe, and especially just your first year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome for the community up there. I mean, you could just see how much the fans loved. I mean, we had great crowds every game, and then even into the championship series. I mean, they seemed to really care. So, we definitely were playing for them. I mean, it's almost, I mean, it's their thing. We're representing the city of St. Joe, and I think we did that very well.
And you guys had a very long stretch of games in a row. You had no off days. Just take me through what like the days were like there. Obviously, it felt like a gauntlet, I bet some days. But then sometimes I bet you just embrace just being at the field and playing in front of St. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie to you. Those were the dog days. Those were the man, we got another game today. But I mean, you just kind of got to remember where you're at and what you're doing. I mean, you only get to play baseball for so long and you're only in college for so long. I mean, you just got to, put that into kind of perspective and be like, well, I'm here, might as well do it. You only get to do it once. So.
Here for you individually and team success. Does those kind of roll together when you're on a streak, saying like it's really easy to go to the ballpark when you're winning, but some days, like say after a bad loss, it's a little tougher?
Oh, for sure. But, I mean, that's like the mental part of baseball is almost as big as, the physical part of baseball. Even if you're one of the best hitters, you're still going to get out 70% of the time. So, you know, like it's like and in baseball, you're going to lose games. You know, it's a given. You're not going to win every single game. So you just almost have to remind yourself that even when things go bad, you know, you can always turn it around the next day. It's the beauty of baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. And just taking us through the entire season, what was like the peak moment of being a St. Joseph Mustang? Obviously, that championship probably sits at the top of the charts.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely up there. I think for me, another peak moment was just my first game there, you know. I mean, really getting to experience that. I mean, the crowd was amazing, you know, meeting the guys kind of for the first real time was awesome. You know, the guys were awesome and really cool to me. And I mean, that's definitely up there with the championship.
Yeah, obviously not too often. In summer leagues especially, you draw 3,000 to 6,000 fans and you're playing in front of them every single day. Is there any like added pressure, I would say, when you're playing in front of those guys because you want to represent, I said, the team and organization so well and pristine?
Yeah, I mean, totally. I think you always want to do your best in front of, you know, a large crowd like that. So there's a little bit of pressure and, you know, maybe a little bit of nerves to start it off, but I think you start to get used to it and it becomes easier throughout the season. And with the, you know, I mean, the community is so great. You just want to represent them well and, you know, you try your best, but, you know, but they know it too, and that baseball's hard and, you know, it might not always go your way, but the community always had our backs no matter what.
Yeah, and you strung many good performances over the year together. What was a part of the game that this summer you're like, I'm gonna focus on this particular point, so when I get to the spring, I'm gonna be the best I can?
Right. I think for me, it was kind of just trying to be on time in my at bats every single time, you know, not being late. You know, being early is okay sometimes, but it's hard with the wood bat if you're getting jammed all the time to get hits consistently. So really just making it an effort and a point to be on time every single at bat.
Between like say you're facing hard velo and then soft velo, how do you kind of like adapt to being on time throughout the game?
So my approach is a little different. I don't like to move up and back in the box. I like to stay in the same spot every time. So for me, it really starts, you know, even before you're on deck, it starts in the hole. And like in my head, I'm making mental cues of when to start my hands, when to start my swing. And you know, I kind of get a lot from that just watching.
Okay, so you're never really taking a moment off when you're watching the game. You're seeing, okay, this is a pitch sequence that I should be ready for. Say he's pitching backwards, or maybe he does have a fastball that looks like it rides or gets on you quick.
Oh, 100%. And I think you have to if you want to be really successful at this game. That's the only way, in my opinion.
Alrighty, so now I'm gonna take you to the only segment I want to have on this show. It's called the rundown. You get 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you can answer. Growing up,
Whit Merrifield.
are you superstitious at all?
Not really.
What's a post-game snack you really enjoy?
Chicken.
Favorite baseball movie?
Bull Durham.
A diving catch or a home run?
Home run.
All right, cleats or turfs?
Cleats. Cleats.
All right, favorite ballpark food?
Hot dog.
Go-to sunflower seed.
Dill pickle.
Okay, all right. Is that something you've always enjoyed, some dill pickle seeds, or are you like mixing it up here and there throughout the game, obviously, going to the ballpark every single day? I feel like you need something new.
Yeah, sometimes, but you know, you always got to go back to your roots, you could say. So dill pickle's that for me. Whenever I'm in doubt, I'm going dill pickle.
All right, so taking us through like a season, are you a guy that changes your walk-up song here and there, or once you pick it day one, it's you're sticking with it no matter what?
Not really. Like I said in that little thing there, I'm not really superstitious. So, you know, if I liked it at the beginning, I'm probably gonna like it at the end. So,
All right, so going through the entire season, you guys obviously had success and you made great teammates along. Just what are some bonds and memories you'll take away, like maybe going on the bus rides, going out to eat, or something like that?
oh yeah, I mean, I think. that's probably the best part about summer ball is just meeting guys from everywhere and they become, almost your lifelong friends. But I think, just sitting in the clubhouse with guys before the game, chatting it up, playing video games, whatever. I mean that you can't replicate that anywhere else. And then obviously, bus trips are awesome. We're sitting there hanging out, having fun. We're playing a game called Mafia on the bus, which is awesome. And it makes it a lot more fun and definitely gets you through the season um, without wanting to go home or wanting it to be over. I think your teammates almost make the summer, in my opinion.
Well, you guys looked like you guys were having fun every single day. I mean, I was around during that championship series. I mean, you guys were playing college football just hours before you're about to go play game two of the championship series.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot about the Mustangs and how close we became. And you know, I think the winning almost takes care of itself when you have such good friends and you have such good relationships on the team, and it just makes it more fun and easier to play together.
Yeah, and you were a new guy on this team. Was that a thing you kind of embraced? Like, were you kind of nervous at the beginning, and then all of a sudden they were very warm welcoming?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I was, nervous at the beginning. Definitely maybe a little shy at the start because I didn't know exactly how everything was or how everything went down. But I think as the season progressed, and I mean, even like a week into the season, it was like I was one of the guys. So, I mean, I mean, respect to all my other teammates that have been there before and welcoming me so quickly.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of returners on this Mustangs team, and that really helped you guys out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they've done it. They've seen the crowds every night, so they kind of helped me through that a little bit.
And then you're gonna see the same pitcher every single day. You may be seeing the ace from the Griffins, then the next day, time you face them, you're facing one of their bottom relievers to start the game. Just talk about, did you really like prepare and kind of keep a scouting report on these guys?
Not necessarily. I think that you can kind of point that to what I was talking about earlier and how you just learn so much from the game just by watching. Just watch and pay attention what they're throwing to certain guys, what pitches they're throwing in certain counts. I think that alone there can take care of itself with the scouting report.
All right, so the season has came to an end. You have a couple weeks before you head to Minnesota. What are some things you're gonna kind of cross off the list before you make your way up north?
Well, obviously, you got to stay conditioned with your hitting and fielding and throwing. So definitely getting a lot of that in. And I guess more on a fun and relaxing side, I'm going to Las Vegas this weekend, so
Okay.
that should be a good time.
Yeah. So are you a big golfer then? Like, are you gonna pick up some clubs then here and there?
Yeah, I love to golf. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that I'm a scratch golfer, but I do okay sometimes.
Golf. If you weren't playing baseball, like to end this summer off, what would be the expectation you'd be doing, just like chilling around and having a good time?
Ooh, yeah, it would definitely have to be some sort of athletic entertainment. I really like to play pickleball. Pickleball's really fun. I'm sure I'd get into golfing a lot more, but yeah, definitely something where I'm on my feet and moving around and being outside.
Okay, so you like to stay a little active. How was kind of your workout plan during the summer? Just because you're playing every single day, did you like try to hit the weight room hard, or was just because you were so strenuous on playing every single day? You're playing so many games. You're on in the starting lineup so much.
Yeah, I think for me, I might be a little different than some guys, but I prioritized my lifting throughout the summer. And I started it early, so by the time of the end of the summer, it was almost like second nature, and I wasn't getting sore. So I was in there lifting probably 4 or 5 days a week, still trying to get after it pretty hard. And I think it paid dividends in the end when I was still able to do that. And then, I wasn't sore and I was still my best self come game time.
Yeah, that's gonna be important. Just actually heading into this spring as well and fall season. What are you looking forward to as you head up north for your senior year and senior campaign as a Golden Gopher?
I'm looking forward to getting back with my teammates and making another run at it. I think we're putting together a good squad for next year. And so that's exciting. I mean, I'm also looking forward to a lot of other things like the football games. I mean, those are awesome. And I mean, probably, a lot of people down here might not really understand, but the hockey games up there are awesome. So I've kind of and I grew up like hockey was I didn't even understand hockey at all. But now I'm like I like hockey. It's cool and I understand it and it's definitely up there with some of my favorite sports to watch.
Okay, so now who's your favorite team then in the hockey world? I mean, you grew up in Missouri. Are you a Blues fan? But then you may have learned hockey and all that stuff in Minnesota.
Yeah, I would always have to root for my the Missouri guys and go with the
Okay.
Blues, but yeah, everybody up there's a Wild fan, so that's a little tough. But if the Wild played the Blues, I'd root for the Blues.
Okay, so okay, that's you're sticking down to your roots.
Yeah, can't go too far.
So just talk about the atmosphere going to these football games. Obviously, you being a student athlete there, you have the same crowds. Not the same crowds, but you still have a crowd to play in front of.
Yeah, I mean they're awesome. I mean, maybe besides, and it might even be even now. I mean, Big Ten football is pretty equivalent to like the SEC with Missouri. I mean, it's the crowds are awesome. And then once you start getting into the later year, the games get kind of colder and maybe it might snow. So, I actually enjoy it. I think it's pretty electric when the weather is pretty colder and it's snowing. It's fun.
All right, so let's move this to your kind of your baseball season. You guys begin in those really cold months there. Do you like that cold baseball? Is that something like you kind of would like to be in a heater and with some layers on?
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody wants to sit out there in the cold all the time, but I mean, luckily Minnesota is so nice that we have a bunch of indoor stuff. And to start the year, we'll go play in the South or on the West Coast where it's nicer weather. And then actually, maybe the coolest part, our home games to start the year are actually in the Vikings stadium. So
Okay.
inside. So yeah, that is nice.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't know that. So has that been something that you guys have done for a while or something that's pretty new?
Yeah, I think they've had it for a while. Um, yeah, so we'll play. I think we played a few series in there, and I mean it's awesome. That there's not much of a difference in the game. So it's like the same game, but you're just inside, and
I,
we
I
don't have
didn't.
to deal with the snow.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a big challenge, but I just didn't know that. That's an awesome kind of quirk, I would say, just being able to play there in Minnesota. Obviously, the weather not really letting you go outside too early.
Right? Yeah, it's the best. Thankful.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of round this off with just talking about next year. I mean, you're heading up there after a very good campaign in the Mink League. You're well over, I want to say a 300 hitter. You're well over that with a very high on base percentage to the this fall season with such a good season under your belt.
Yeah, I think I could take a lot of momentum into the fall. It's kind of like that's kind of what summer ball is about, learning about yourself and learning more about the game and improving. And then you kind of take that confidence into the fall and then into the spring season. So.
Well, you built your confidence here in the Mink League, and I'm excited to see what you can do. Any final words you have when we wrap this up?
Yeah, I really respect what you're doing for the Mink League, and I think it's awesome. Definitely keep going at it. I know the guys love it, and I love the attention that everybody's getting in the league.
Well, I thank you for being on this interview, the first postseason interview I've had, and I'm expecting many more to come in the near future. Well, that is all I have today for the interview with Jack Mosh. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and please like and subscribe as the Mink Marathon is finally coming to a down.